gang has made it back to Monday, ladies and gentlemen, and you know what time it is. That's right. We got to get down to business with bringing up conversating on Alabama football. And what better way to do this than to be locked and loaded onto the hottest show on the streets, the number one forum for Crimson Tide football news, notes, and information. That being, in my own words, with yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Very excited to start your work week off and having you guys tuning into the network on today, as we're bringing this to you, as always, from Tuscaloosa, streaming this via YouTube. And speaking of the channel, go ahead right now, give a thumbs up on the show, give a like on the show, hit that subscribe button, and turn all of those notifications on so that you can have the best and analysis on your Crimson Tide. Speaking of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, you can purchase individual copies of the magazine, have those sent to your door. The link will be found in the description. But as always, we start every week off by addressing the better half of the room. This show does not go without this brother right here. It's John Ivory in the production studio. John, let me hear you one time.
What's going on, Stephen? What's going on with the chat? Hey, make sure you guys share the show. Copy the link right now. Show your family and friends, because you don't want them to miss this show. We have a hot show tonight.
Absolutely, and we want you guys being a part of the conversation. Now, you can do this by calling 205-448-1358. One more time, 205-448-1358. And once again, 205-448-1358. We got a lot to get into later on in the show. We will sit down with the lead scouting and recruiting analyst for TDA, that being one Justin Smith, as this man, the hardest working man in the business, as Alabama recruiting continuing to take rocket ship steps forward now, bringing in 15 verbal commitments here. But we start things off with a couple of updates. First and foremost, Alabama continuing to have student athletes represent the football program on these preseason award watch list. You have here Dylan Moses, who is on the Dick Butkus Award list. Dylan Moses, along with Shane Lee, both were recognized by the Butkus Foundation on today. Both guys representing the 51 linebackers, as both of these two were named among the 51 candidates for the Dick Butkus Award, which goes to the nation's top inside linebacker, or the nation's top linebacker, period. But unfortunately, Christian Harris not named to this list. No offense to Dylan Moses and Shane Lee, both guys terrific young men, great athletes, but want to kind of see Christian Harris's name on here as well. But the young man from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, this will be more motivation for him. Also, Patrick Surtain II named to the Jim Thorpe Award watch list, which goes to the nation's top defensive back. So kudos to Dylan Moses, to Shane Lee, and to Patrick Surtain. All of those guys being listed here. Another update, former Alabama and Oklahoma quarterback Jalen Hurts has signed his rookie deal. He and the Philadelphia Eagles have come to terms on a 4-year deal worth $6.02 million. The deal is also worth $1.9 million in terms of a signing bonus. So a $1.94 million signing bonus. Hurts a 4-year deal worth $6.02 million. A great collegiate career, both at the University of Alabama, where he was a conference champion, a national champion, just a leader among men. And of course, at Oklahoma, a conference champion, a Heisman finalist, and guiding the Sooners to the college football playoff. But we jump into now. Topic number one here, folks, of the conversation. And it's just crazy how prior to the COVID-19, the coronavirus pandemic, it was supposed to have been Alabama, University of Southern California, the USC Trojans to start the season on September 5th in AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. It was supposed to have been Alabama, USC. Now, of course, for a lot of you out there in Tide Nation, the thought process was, well, Alabama's going to roll over and beat down USC anyway. And that's probably true. And that's more than likely true. But at least with playing USC, Alabama had somebody that was a household name, a big-time program, a power program, a brand you could recognize, right? A brand you could recognize. So when the global pandemic hit the sports world, heavily, especially the collegiate world, in the month of March, and you had everybody get sent home, and of course now the Big Ten, the Pac-12, and the ACC have all gone to a conference-only look, which led to USC canceling the season opening matchup with the Crimson Tide. The question became, okay, who could Alabama get? Who could Alabama schedule? Who could the Crimson Tide play? Then the rumors started about, well, maybe TCU's the team. Let's see if Alabama can get TCU. And Tide Nation, you guys were excited about that. I mean, TCU, it's not Texas. It's not Oklahoma. It's not one of these upper echelon schools, but TCU under Coach Gary Patterson, still a good program, still a marquee brand, still a brand you recognize. With TCU, they typically have one of the better defenses in the Big 12 and in college football. Gary Patterson, one of the more underrated coaches. It would not be a long travel for the Horned Frogs, seeing how the program is in Texas. So TCU was a thought. But after the initial conversation started, it died down. You have not seen many people talk much about TCU since then. And then afterwards, more rumors started about, well, how about Notre Dame? And folks were like, sweet Jesus, Notre Dame, let that happen. Good God, let that game happen. Two powerhouse programs, two big traditional powers, two major money-grabbing, ratings-grabbing programs. I mean, anytime you get the opportunity to play against Notre Dame and Brian Kelly, Alabama fans, you want to take that chance. You want to take that opportunity. That could be the biggest, most highly rated game of the year. So people are like, yes, let the Irish happen. Let this game be the one. But of course, Greg Byrne, athletic director for the Crimson Tide, shot that dream down quickly. Alabama will play Notre Dame in the future, just not to start the 2020 college football season. So you were thinking about USC, you were thinking about TCU, you were thinking about Notre Dame. Neither of those three happening, and then to kind of end the weekend on last week, the team that has been rumored to potentially be the week one opponent for the Crimson Tide, BYU, the Brigham Young Cougars, BYU. And no offense to BYU, no offense to the Fighting Mormons, BYU, who was the school that was private university owned by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So no offense to BYU. I'm not offended by the opportunity to play BYU. I'm offended by the process that's kind of led to this moment, because going back to last week, of course, you guys mentioned any football is better than no football at all. Any type of football is better than not having a season. And while I agree with you, and while I understand where you're coming from, the equivalent to playing BYU, it's kind of like this. Say, for example, you wanted to go to McDonald's, you wanted to go to Mickey D's because you were craving the home-style chicken meal. You were craving it all week like a madman or a mad woman. You were craving home-style chicken all week. And you go to McDonald's, you go to the drive-thru, and you ask for the home-style chicken meal, and they tell you, I'm sorry, sir or ma'am, we're sold out of the home-style chicken meal. We do have a great deal on the filet of fish. And you go from, so are you kidding me? I don't want no filet of fish. This is not why I came here. I came here for my darn home-style chicken. And if you wanted to give me a consolation prize on the deal, at least give me something on the quarter pounder. I mean, I'll take a quarter pounder as a consolation prize. I don't want no filet of fish. I came here for the home-style chicken. And you are just kind of, really upset because your mouth was so on that home-style chicken. They're offering you the filet of fish. You didn't come here for this, and then it's just a big mess. It's just a big mess. And once again, I'm not offended by BYU. It's just when you look at the opportunity of possibly playing USC or possibly TCU or possibly Notre Dame, and then you're hit with BYU, and it's just the game on the surface, if BYU becomes the game for Alabama week 1, just on the surface, this game just doesn't do it for me. Now, I could be wrong, and I'm praying I am wrong. BYU could be the game of the year. BYU could be the most fun, entertaining, intriguing matchup of the season. Who knows? I don't know, but just off the surface, just on the surface, just not doing it, for me, because, this is not Gary Croton BYU. This is not even Bronco Mendenhall BYU. The only reason why this game would have some substance is due to, of course, Steve Sarkisian played at BYU, and the Cougars have had some great quarterbacks to come through the program. Steve Young came through there. Jim McMahon came through there. Both were Super Bowl champions. Young for the 49ers, McMahon for the Chicago Bears. Ty Detmer came through the program. He was a Heisman Trophy winner in 1990. And, of course, Sark, came through the program. But this is a BYU team under head coach Kalani Sittak. Kalani Sittak, who is entering his 5th year with the program. He is 27-25 in his first 4 years. 3 winning seasons. He does have a losing season at 4-9, with the Cougars. The last 2 years, they were 7-6 in each of the last 2 years. Now, a lot of people are talking about, well, Steven, keep in mind, this same BYU team, they took down Tennessee last year, took down the Vols, took down Jeremy Pruitt's bunch in Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. And yes, they did. But also keep in mind, Tennessee is not one of the upper echelon programs of the SEC. Jeremy Pruitt's building the program up. The program's getting better. He's doing well in recruiting. Tennessee is trying to get back to what it once was in the 90s and early 2000s, but it's not quite there yet. Now, if BYU was to have beaten the Georgia, okay. If BYU was to have beaten LSU, all right. If BYU was to have beaten Texas A&M, I feel you. Even to a certain degree, if BYU was to have beaten Auburn, I can understand that as well. But Tennessee, not quite the upper echelon program, or among the upper echelon programs quite yet. Now, once again, if this was Bronco Mendenhall BYU, I would have a completely different tune about this, because when Bronco Mendenhall was coaching the program from 2005 to 2015, that 11-year period, he had some dogs. He had some physical animals. He had players that were tough, that were hard-nosed, that were physical, that were skilled guys. He had some good quarterbacks in that program as well. For Bronco Mendenhall, under Mendenhall, BYU did not have a losing season. Never had a losing season. During his career at BYU, overall record 99-43, 5 10-win seasons, never had a losing season. The only season, aside from his first year, 2005, where he won less than 8 games, was the 2010 season, where they went 7-6. They were in the Mountain West Conference under Mendenhall from 2011 to 2005 to 2010, before going to the independent, or being an independent like Notre Dame is, starting from 2011 to 2015. So Mendenhall had some talent. At the quarterback position, when you talk 3,000-yard guys, he had John Beck, a 3,000-yard passer. He had Max Hall, a 3,000-yard passer. He had Tanner Magnum, a 3,000-yard passer. He had a wild card guy in Taysom Hill at the quarterback position. In terms of running backs, you look at Curtis Brown, a 1,000-yard back. Harvey Ungo, 1,000-yard back. Taysom Hill, though he was a quarterback, he ran the ball well also, being a 1,000-yard rusher. At the wide receiver position, Mendenhall had a 1,000-yard target in Cody Hoffman in 2012, and also he had 11 receivers. He had 11 receivers that produced at least 500 yards receiving. So if this was Bronco Mendenhall BYU, I could get down with it. Because under his regime, under his leadership, this was a program that was bout it. And at BYU, under his leadership, the Cougars would always pull upsets that you would not expect for them to pull, that you would not expect for them to do and or have. But right now, with this edition of BYU under Kalani Saitak, I really don't know. I mean, it could be the game of the year. It could be a fun matchup. It could be sexy. It could be appealing. But just on the surface right now, I'm just not digging it. But, it is what it is. But before we go to our first break here on the show, got to remind you of Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes. If you use the code TDA Emily's, you earn 10% off all orders over $30. Link will be found there in the description, coming from our friends at Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes. But upon our return, we get to your phone calls, your thoughts, your tweets, your chats, your discussions. Are you feeling Alabama versus BYU potentially? We'll talk it up after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care. In support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
We're back into the action, folks, on a Monday. Hottest show on the streets. Number one forum for Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, with yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. It's your time, Tide Nation. Time to hear from you. 205-448-1358. The number to call in to let your voice be heard. 205-448-1358. And we start things off with Wayland on a Monday. What's going on, brother?
Blueberry pound cake tastes so great, I had rather have a slice of it as T-bone steak. How's everybody doing?
Hey, Wayne, that was a good one right out of the gate, my man. We're doing good, man. We're doing good. Alabama continuing to do its thing on the recruiting trail. We're going to talk to Justin Smith about this in a little while, but it just appears that Coach Saban trying to sign the number one offensive line in the country.
Man, I got to catch my breath, too. All these kids signed up with Alabama coming in here, I'm telling you what, it's looking like, we've missed a few recruiting classes, it feels like, in the past. Maybe that's why we wasn't quite where we needed to be. I don't know what has sparked it here. It seemed like the COVID has sparked the kids to want to come to Alabama instead of going anywhere else. But all these new facilities, all this stuff Alabama has to offer, somebody better hold on. This may be a hard ride for some folks, Stephen.
It may be. And going back to something you mentioned there, Wayne, and there were a few recruiting classes that Saban and the Tide felt like they missed on some guys, and this is the reason why this year, Coach sat his staff down and basically said, guys, I wrote the book on this thing. We're going to get back to old school recruiting, fostering relationships with these young men, their parents, their families, selling the program to them. We're selling them on the program. And it feels like the staff bought into what Coach Saban said, and they are really fostering these relationships, these mamas, these daddies, these grandparents, these aunties, whoever reigns as the guardian for, these athletes. They are really sold on having their young men come to this program.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He's got them. He really must have sat down and had a big talk with everybody there. It
was a come to Jesus moment, man.
I think so. I believe that's the way it's looking, the way these kids are coming. But I know we got a lot of people in the queue, and John, he passed away this weekend, John Lewis. But remember, he said the burden of hate for hate is too heavy a burden to bear. So that's what we need to remember. Instead of doing the poem tonight, is our civil icon, John Lewis, and there ain't too many of us old hard Democrats left, like myself there. But, we don't want to make the show political, but, there's still a few of us out there, and we still remember these people that, like I always say about the Alabama program, that laid down that smooth asphalt for all of us to be where we at today, Steve and I. And I think a lot of people in this country has forgotten what these people have done.
Well, absolutely. But as long as people like you and myself, Waylon, and others, don't forget the pioneers, we'll be all right.
That's exactly right. So hello to everybody in the chat. Y'all have a safe Tuesday, and we'll get a poem together here. Maybe a good one for Wednesday or Friday. We're working on one, and we'll see everybody Wednesday. See y'all later, Stephen. Bye-bye. Appreciate
you, Waylon, as he always starts us off here on the show. We got another call in the queue on a Monday. You're live on In My Own Words. What's going on?
What's going on, Stephen? How you doing? This is Sean from Huntsville.
Yeah, the man himself calling in. What's going on, Sean?
Nothing much, brother. Nothing but let's kick back at work, listening to you on my little computer. You know what I mean? Wanted to run this by you real quick. I might be the only fan to say this, but I got to keep it honest, man. I'm appreciative of I pray to God we get football back. I pray to God everybody can be safe and we can have it back in a safe manner. But, man, I just don't know. BYU, that, even if I could go to the game.
Sean, you're saying the same thing I'm saying. Like, you're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I understand we want football. We do, and crossing our fingers, toes, high faith for that season. But after we thought about, USC and TCU and Notre Dame, just BYU, no offense, but it's like going to McDonald's. You want that good meal, and they try to get you the fillet of fish, try to slide that out to you. You ain't feeling that. You want what you came there for.
Man. And if any BYU fans listen to this, please, this is I dare say, BYU, hope this doesn't happen. Come in and beat us. For me, it's not even about the W or the L. It's just that game. I just have a hard time sinking my teeth into it, man. BYU, I just don't know. I wish we was playing somebody else that had a little more candor, a little more team that could really push us.
You know what, Sean? I would love for Oklahoma to switch out its cupcake to start the season and play Bama.
Man, I dare say Oklahoma, Penn State. Give me somebody like that. I know we got Georgia in week 3, but, man, that opening game really set the tone for your whole season, man. And I just wish we were playing. Is the BYU game, is it in blood yet? Is it down yet for real? Is that what we're playing, or is it still in talk?
It's not down yet. It's still just basic. It's still just basic talk right now. But that's the program that has emerged now as a potential, possible, Week 1 matchup. Now, I wanted Notre Dame. When I heard Notre Dame float through, and Coach Saban playing Brian Kelly, and there's a big difference between the 2012 Notre Dame team and this team. The 2012 Notre Dame team, the best thing you had was Tyler Eifert and the whole Manti Te'o fake girlfriend thing. With this Notre Dame, you got a bit more pieces.
Yeah, that game would, and I understand they trying not to overshadow the Georgia game, man, and you're trying to find an opponent that all the politics line up, and everything, and who open dates and things of that nature, and conference games and cupcakes and everything got to line up. I understand the politics that come with it, but I just hope, man, no disrespect to BYU, please, any BYU fans, no disrespect to you guys. For me, I'm not even thinking about the outcome of the game. It's just I was hoping for a bit more splash on that first game, man, but either way, I'll be happy and thankful, but that's definitely a game that I'll probably be at home watching regardless. You know what I mean? No disrespect. But
we'll see what
happens
though, man.
No doubt, man. I want to say this real quick. Your last caller, Waylon, I love listening to that guy, man. He lifts my spirits, man. He always seems happy. I want him to know he got fans out here that listen to him on your show, and we'll continue to support, man.
Absolutely, man. Keep listening to us. Appreciate the call.
No problem.
Also, always good having Sean calling as well. But we got another caller in the queue as y'all lighting this up on a Monday. You're live on In My Own Words. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing, Steven?
Doing pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, I was you wanted to get your thoughts to see if I was listening to the last guy. I had my own question about it anyway. I kind of agree with him too. I'm not really, geared up for BYU, but I mean at this point it doesn't really matter. We can play Birmingham Southern. I'd be satisfied as long as we're going to have a season. But I wanted to know if there's any other opponents that are kind of viable, or I don't know if that's the right word or not, but that you might think would be good possibilities that you can throw out for that first matchup of the season.
I like Baylor. I like Baylor. I think Oklahoma State would be fun. Baylor would be fun. Oklahoma State would be fun. Let's see here. Who else we could throw out here? Man, it's so difficult with the Big Ten, the ACC, and the Pac-12 doing what they did. Baylor, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, but it depends on who they would have at quarterback. I mean, they don't have Patrick Mahomes anymore, so whoever Texas Tech would have at quarterback, if it's intriguing, that's a tough one, man. But if I had to give my two just off the bat right now, give me Baylor. No, I got three. Baylor, Oklahoma State. Throw West Virginia in there. Baylor, Oklahoma State, West Virginia.
Right. Well, like I said, I'm just, hoping for the season at this point. It didn't really matter, if it's BYU or not. But thank you for taking my call, and love the show.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate the call there as we're getting some folks lighting up here about this game between Alabama and potential game. Not saying it's going to happen, but potential possible matchup between Alabama and BYU. But fun topic here, folks, as the University of Alabama. How about the locker rooms, man? Crimson Tide got the new locker rooms, the new digs here in the sports performance building. This video that you're seeing right now actually came from the Alabama football Twitter page, and very, very high tech. As if you look at the locker rooms, you've got each player has their own, locker where you've got the player's name, their position, their jersey number, and their home state. It's really sleek how, Coach Saban and the powers that be in this program are really catering to these young men. But the cool thing about this is Mac Jones and Bryce Young are neighbors in the locker room. Ho, ho, hey. Mac 10 and Bryce Young, neighbors in the locker room. And although, one of the biggest conversations this offseason has been the quarterback room and who will be the starting quarterback between, Mac Jones and Bryce Young. Alabama has a tremendous quarterback room, as you also have to talk about one Paul Tyson, who's been, tearing it up, emerging this offseason with a quarterback developer, one Lavelle Durant. But, to me, I still have my chip stack towards Mac Jones being the starter, from start to finish. But one of the cool things about this is going to be how will both guys interact with each other? How will Mac interact with Bryce? How will Young interact with Jones? And kind of the perfect model they could have is the Jalen Hurts to a Tagovailoa model. I mean, it was a lot of friction from the outside eyes between you had the Jalen fans on one end, but Tua fans on the other end, and it was a lot of friction there. But both guys loved each other, both guys supported each other, both guys want to see each other succeed. They helped each other out, and in the end, you're looking at an SEC championship for both guys in 2018. Of course, a national championship for both guys in 2017. So hopefully, Mac and Bryce look at that model that was presented by, Jalen and Tua. They take some things from it. They learn some things from it. They grow from it, and they add their own spin to it and, make it their own as, both guys try to help each other out in a quarterback room led by one Steve Sarkisian. But we go to another break here on the show. Don't touch that dial, or just getting your chest warm. Upon our return, we sit down with Justin Smith, the lead scouting and recruiting analyst for TDA, to talk Terrence Ferguson and the rest of this 2021 class after this.
If you want delicious home-style cooking, sushi, and hibachi? Check out Otoro Hibachi in the University Mall in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. At home and you can't get away from the TV because the Crimson Tide is about to score? Don't worry. Delivery is also available through Waitr and Crimson2go. That's Otoro Hibachi in the University Mall in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And make sure you let them know the good folks at Touchdown Alabama sent you. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
We got you locked and loaded, Tide Nation, on to the number one source for Crimson Tide News, the hottest show on the streets, in my own words, with yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Got the man John Ivory, as always, in the production studio, and we hop on over to the In My Own Words hotline. We pick up my brother from another mother, the recruiting man, the boots on the ground. This guy does it better than anybody else does. It's Justin Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine to talk some 2021 recruiting. Justin, how you feeling, man? I know you got to be on the road right now, but how you feeling?
I'm doing pretty well, Steven.
Justin, doing pretty good here. We're happy to have you on the line, Justin. And first and foremost, another guy coming into this class, the 15th verbal commitment that being one, Terrence Ferguson, the four-star offensive lineman from the Georgia area. He spurns the Bulldogs and the Florida State Seminoles, giving his yes to Nick Saban and the Tide. Very versatile guy, can play both offensive guard and offensive tackle. Talk to us here, Justin, about Terrence Ferguson and how big this is, if it's just as big as landing the Brockemeyer twins.
Well, I think this is huge for the Tide's 2021 recruiting class, adding to that impressive offensive line class that the Tide could quite possibly pull again. Him, of course, joining the Brockemeyer twins in Casey Latham. So I think this is a great pickup for Alabama in this 2021 recruiting class. You're adding a 6'4", 6'5", 300-pound kid who could quite possibly play guard or tackle. Like you said, I really like his strength as a run blocker. I think that it's his biggest strength at the moment, his ability to be aggressive, not afraid to get to the second level and attack linebackers, defensive backs down the field. So you really like to see that out of a Terrence Ferguson. And I think this just brings forth that conversation that a lot of Tide fans are excited to talk about, that potential great offensive line class that the Tide could pull in this recruiting cycle.
Now, the one guy that could make this all around across the board, Justin, the number one group in the country, is Amarius Mims. Now, where does he land in here now? Because you mentioned you've got J.C. Latham, you've got the Brockemeyer boys, now you bring in Terrence Ferguson. It seems like that missing piece is Amarius Mims. Where is he right now in your mind?
Well, he is set to announce his commitment on August 15th. I do think the Tide is still involved in his recruitment. I think his recruitment is definitely something to look at heading into August, but it still is a Georgia battle, just like Ferguson was, the Georgia and Alabama battle. No one really knows what his decision is at this moment, so I do feel the Tide is still in it, although Georgia is in it as well, so that's definitely something to pay attention to. But there are also some other guys to pay attention to when it comes to the Tide recruiting other offensive linemen in this 2021 class. You have William Parker out of Tennessee, who the Tide is recruiting. You have Tristan Lay, another five-star offensive lineman out of Virginia, who Alabama has been recruiting for more than a year. You have a couple of other guys out there too at that offensive line position who the Tide is still recruiting. So you still have to pay attention to a couple of other guys. We all know Mims is a guy to pay attention to, a Georgia product, a guy a lot of Tide fans are excited to see. When we got a chance to talk with them at the Future 50 Media Day event in Orlando in December, he did sound like the Tide was in a great position with them. He spoke highly of Alabama at that particular event. If I had to make a prediction on that day, it would be Alabama if I had to go back and make a prediction back then. But it looks as if Georgia has continued to make their push, so the Tide is still in it with Mills. But as I said, it's Georgia, Alabama.
If you're just tuning into the show, folks, on a Monday, we got the lead scouting and recruiting analyst for Touchdown Alabama magazine, Justin Smith, on the line right now, talking 2021 recruiting class. And Justin, JaQuincy McKinstry, the 5-star defensive back out of Pinson Valley High School here in Alabama. You mentioned this is the most pure athlete to come from the state in quite some time. He dropped his top 3 on Sunday, that being Alabama, Auburn, and LSU. Now, Saban wants to get McKinstry, but then there's also Jalen Marshall, a 5-star defensive back out of the state of Florida. So speak on McKinstry right now. Is Alabama going all out for McKinstry, or if it doesn't get him and it gets Marshall, is that a negative? Speak on McKinstry right now.
Well, I think Alabama is definitely still in it. He did drop that top 3, and like I said the last time I was on your show, I think the question going into that top 3 was who was going to be the third team. We knew that Alabama and Auburn were most likely going to be in it, so we wanted to know who was going to be the third team, and it was no surprise. It was LSU. I kind of felt it was LSU. It was a school that he had visited, and it was a school they showed some love on social media recently too. So I kind of felt it was going to be LSU, Auburn, and Alabama. I do feel the Tide is still in the mix with them, as he told me that they have contacted him almost every day since they hosted him for their junior day event in February. So I do think the Tide still see JaQuincy McKinstry as a priority. He did tell me that he has always felt that they have shown him that he is a priority at the University of Alabama. So it's definitely something to pay attention to with JaQuincy McKinstry. I definitely think the Tide is still in that great position. But as you said, Jason Moore, the 5-star cornerback out of Florida, is another guy Alabama is recruiting as well. And like I said so many other times as well, the defensive back position room is crowded on Alabama's 2021 recruiting board. You have Kyrie Jackson, of course, the JUCO cornerback. You still have Bijan Warren floating out there, as well as Kamari Lassiter, Tuscaloosa defensive back. So I do feel the Tide is still in the mix for JaQuincy McKinstry. I would definitely pay attention to that. You cannot count out any one of those 3 teams. Of course, LSU is a school that has a rich tradition of developing defensive backs. He has a lot of ties with Auburn, with Bo Nix, starting quarterback at Auburn, being his former teammate at Pinson Valley High School, and the Tide has always shown that he's a priority for them. So I think all 3 of those teams still have an opportunity.
Now, Justin, just look at the parents here. Looking at the parents of these athletes, the parents of these recruits, the family members. When you get a chance to talk to them, whether it's the 2020 guys that are in here right now or the 2021 guys on the trail, what have the parents been saying when you spoke to them about going to Alabama, the feeling that Alabama gives, the environment or the vibe that Coach Saban and his staff gives off? What have you been hearing from the parents on their comfortability, with Alabama?
Well, I think the biggest thing that has stand out with my talk with multiple parents of recruits in the 2021 recruiting class is the fact that they feel that Alabama is the best place for their child to develop, not only on the football field, but off the football field, in the classroom, and develop as a businessman. I know one parent told me that he knew if his son went to the University of Alabama, he would not only develop as that football player, but he'll develop as a productive member of society. And I think that plays a huge role in all of these guys' decisions. They not only want to win on the football field, but they want to win off of it as well. So I think the Alabama brand is still a great brand that a lot of fans, a lot of parents are excited about joining and wanting their child to be a part of that program.
He's Justin Smith, ladies and gentlemen. Hard at work as always. The lead scouting and recruiting analyst for Touchdown Alabama magazine, joining us to look at this 2021 class. Once again, 15 verbal commitments. The latest one, Terrence Ferguson, the 4-star offensive lineman. Coach Saban and the Tide trying to land the #1 offensive line class in the country. Justin, as always, appreciate the time, the insight, the energy, the passion you have for what you do on this trail, man. Be safe, be good, take it easy.
You do the same, Stephen.
Always appreciating the time, get a chance to talk with Justin on Crimson Tide recruiting. Well, folks, when we come back, we'll take another break here. But upon our return, we dive back into your phone calls, your thoughts, your tweets, your chats, your questions, your concerns. We get to the dialogue after this.
T-Town Menswear in the University Mall in Tuscaloosa. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
Back in from the break, ladies and gentlemen, on the number one forum for Crimson Tide football, hottest show on the streets, in my own words, with yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Be sure to always give a thumbs up, give a like on the show, hit that subscribe button, and turn all of those notifications on so that way you can have the best in news, notes, updates, and analysis on your Crimson Tide. But it's your time again, Tide fans. 205-448-1358. The number to call in to let your voice be heard, 205-448-1358. And as you're getting your thoughts together, I want to remind you of this. In my own word, fans, given everything going on surrounding this pandemic, as a small business, we rely on you, the fans, to keep us going. The biggest way you can support us is to be a subscriber to Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Just $5.95 a month, and you can have the latest information on all things Alabama football, an annual magazine, and the most exceptional recruiting news from our own Justin Smith. We want you to be a part of our community, and being a subscriber is the best compliment you can give to us. You can subscribe for Touchdown Alabama. You can subscribe for Touchdown Alabama, by going to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Your support is much appreciated. So go to touchdownalabama.com, click join to get all the up-to-date information, all the news, all the insight. Your support definitely much so appreciated coming from us here at TDA. But as you're once again getting your thoughts and ideas together here, 205-448-1358. Another interesting topic. You look at wide receiver Javon Baker, freshman wide receiver Javon Baker from the Georgia area. He went to McEachern High School, and Dr. Matt Ray, the speed guru, one half of the sports performance team, along with David Ballou, Dr. Ray had an exercise, an activity, an assignment for, the team on last week. And according to a tweet that he posted on social media, he said that Baker had the best speed, the highest speed for that assignment that was done on last week. And he had something for Mr. Baker in his efforts or for his performance in having the highest speed. And this is really cool because the biggest knock on Javon Baker coming into the 2020 class was his speed. I mean, people felt like he had the size, he had the strength, he had the athleticism, just not quite the speed. Now, one of few guys that did not feel this way was our own Justin Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, who did a lot of scouting up on Baker, and he mentioned how Baker does have the speed. He does have the explosiveness. He does have the acceleration. So seeing, along with Justin, Dr. Matt Ray of Alabama dispelling that myth of, Javon doesn't have the speed in this tweet right here is awesome. Now, my thing here is, did Javon record the highest speed in terms of just all the freshmen that he came in with, or was this the best speed in terms of every wide receiver on the team, which includes Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith? That's a caveat that was left out. That's what I want to know. Now, it's good out of the way because Baker is somebody of whom is trying to push for playing time as a freshman, trying to push for an opportunity to start and maybe be that third wide receiver to hit to help out with Smitty and Waddle. But that's kind of what I want to know. Was his speed, the best in terms of all the freshmen? Or was his speed the best when you look at all the receivers on the roster? Because let's be honest. For a lot of you out there, Tide fans, you believe nobody's faster than Jalen Waddle. Nobody could be faster than Jalen Waddle, right? I mean, this is the human joystick. This is Mr. Lightning in a bottle. This is Mr. Electricity. Nobody's faster than Jalen Waddle. I mean, even when Alabama had Henry Ruggs, for the time that the Tide had him from 2017 to 2019, it was a constant fight between who's faster. Is it Ruggs or is it Waddle? Is it Ruggs or is it Waddle? I mean, both of the guys would race, and it would be just by the smidget of margins that Henry Ruggs would beat, Jalen Waddle. And then at the NFL Combine, we saw Ruggs put down the ungodly time of 4.27.40, in the 40-yard dash, but that was just ridiculous. So you had that, and once that happened, fans were like, okay, it's legitimate. Ruggs faster than Waddle. But this time around, Javon Baker, who has the weight, he's over 200 pounds, but Dr. Matt Ray saying he had the best speed, the best time, the fastest time in this assignment, in this activity, in this exercise that was done on last week. Was this the fastest time among the freshmen? Or was this the fastest time when you look at every receiver on the roster? That part remains to be seen. But it's just good on Javon Baker to get that done. Now, John, I want to ask you a question if you feel like answering this. John, do you feel like Javon is faster than Jalen Waddle?
I don't think anyone's faster than Jalen Waddle, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to see a race, like a straight up race or something like that.
I mean, I want to see a straight up race too, and this is another reason why we gotta have football, right? This is another reason why football has to happen this year, because I want to see in a race, I want to see in a practice, I want to see in a game, who's faster, who's the fastest receiver on this team? Is it Jalen Waddle? Is it Javon Baker? Is it, John Mechie? Who is the fastest wide receiver, on this year's team? Because we know in the years to come, once Christian Leary, signs his letter of intent for 2021, Leary's going to have something to say about this also. So for right now, I kind of want to see how fast is Javon Baker for real. But we go to the phone lines right now. We pick up a call. You're live on In My Own Words on a Monday. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? This young Sway from down the bay.
All right, Sway, what's going on with you?
Not much. I was just gonna listen when you start talking crazy, man, about somebody being faster than Water, bro. That did all that. You feel me? We're not going there tonight, Steven.
I mean, honestly, I don't think anybody on this team is faster than Jalen Waddle. I'm just saying the information Dr. Radin put out here as, Baker being the fastest.
Dude tweet y'all put up there, he ain't say that the bro was faster than everybody, man. So let's just pump the brakes on, bro. I seen dude film, he good and everything, but he ain't got the speed like that. Come on now.
I'm saying, that's why I want to see football, man. I want to see this for myself. I'm not saying he got that
the
speed.
Highlight from when he was in 12th grade, bro. I mean, he fast, he good and everything, but he ain't faster than Water. Come on now. I chill with that. Y'all know that my boy I called about 4 or 5 months ago. I told y'all about anybody messing with Water, you feel me? I told y'all that a long time ago. I ain't tell you what my name was, but that was me that called in.
Hey, Sway.
Oh,
We feel you.
I'm sorry, I ain't trying to be disrespectful, but I'm just saying, like, y'all got to chill on my brother, dog.
Hey. Right now, Sway.
I hope he hear the truth though. Like no lie. I hope he hear the truth and everything.
True.
Like,
You're right.
I just want to make sure like we ain't just gonna be saying like y'all putting too much expectation on that dude. And I think he raw and everything, but I just don't think he faster than Water. But I don't want to like be disrespectful and just interrupt the show like that. I just want to call in and just give my 2 cents on that. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate what you're talking about and everything. I just want to call in and clear that up. Feel me?
I feel you on that one, Sway. I feel you on that. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate that.
All right,
Always appreciate Sway calling in here. I'm not saying that he's faster than Waddle. No, I'm not saying that. I don't think he's faster than Waddle. I'm just saying Dr. Radin sat here and dropped this tweet, and it's just kind of interesting that he brought this tweet into the conversation. But we'll see. It's just another reason why football's going to happen this year, because there's so many players that I want to look at. I know, John, you want to look at some point in time to see, who's going to be the real deal in terms of this upcoming season. But we take another break right now on the show. But upon our return, we dive into one Najee Harris. There's an NFL scout, former NFL scout, but an analyst for NFL.com really loving the game that Najee Harris puts on display. So we'll talk Najee Harris on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're coming back.
If you're an avid Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All-Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to STSFootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to STSFootwear.com and get your All-Bama sneakers today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month, or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
All right, people, in my own words, back in from the break, hottest show on the streets, number one form for Crimson Tide football news. With yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Got the man John Alvarez always in the production studio. And we look at now one Najee Harris at the running back position. And there's a particular former NFL scout, particular NFL.com analyst. And as I mentioned on a recent show here on last week, there are a select few people that I put a lot of stock, that I put stock in terms of their evaluations, their analysis on the NFL draft. And this is no offense to Todd McShay and Mel Kiper Jr. They're two of the best in the game. They get paid for what they do. But when guys like Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks put something out, I kind of lean more so to them, because not only did they play the game, but they were both actually scouted the game for pro teams, for pro programs. And so their analysis is more so, I guess, hard-hitting. So Daniel Jeremiah is literally starting his evaluations on 2021 draft prospects, and he's doing this series on YouTube called The Three Terms, to where he looks at a lot of the highly profiled guys, and he gives three huge scouting terms for all three of them. So broke down Najee Harris over the weekend, and the three terms he used for Najee Harris: patience, contact balance, and smooth. Patience, contact balance, and just really, really smooth in his style, whether it's in the run, whether it's him running the football or him in pass protection. And I tend to agree with Jeremiah on all three terms. I mean, the patience of Najee Harris, we saw it last season, especially when he got more aggressive enough, waiting for plays to open up, but not only waiting, hitting that hole immediately as it opened up, getting up and down the field north and south and being intentional about it. I can see the contact balance where he's not being brought down by one guy easily. He's dragging guys with him. He's keeping his feet moving, keeping his feet churning, picking up those extra 2, 3, 4, 5 yards needed to move the chains, keep you in a good down and distance situation. And just the smoothness or fluidity, of his routes as a route runner out the backfield and also as a running back. So I agree with those three terms that Jeremiah, put down on paper there. My main thing for Najee has always been, in this upcoming season, And, of course, former Auburn running back Brad Lester, also former NFL back Derek Blaylock. They both were more so Lester than Blaylock, but both have had a hand in guiding Harris in this area, and that's just getting his speed, just getting a little bit more speed on him. Lester's got him doing different shuttle runs, and right now he's got his shuttle time down to 3.7 seconds, according to a video that Lester had on Twitter a couple of days back. But that's one of the main things. But aside from the speed, the thing that I've been on Harris about is being consistently, intentionally aggressive from start to finish. That's the main thing, and it's what made Derrick Henry the monster that he was. It wasn't the fact that Derrick Henry was bigger than everybody else. Of course he was. It wasn't that he was faster than everybody else. And with him being at 6'3", 247 pounds, that brother was fast as lightning. But the thing that set Derrick apart was he was more aggressive than everybody else. The moment his hands touched that football, he knew where he was going with it. He was intentional in where he was going with it. And the moment his hands touched that football, he was aggressive about it. He was aggressive in hitting that hole, attacking it, whether it was off the guard or the tackle, going inside north and south, or if he just knew, I've got the ability to hit the outside, hit the perimeter, and get plays and get yards on the edge. He was aggressive from that viewpoint, that standpoint as well. So that's always been kind of my biggest thing, with Najee. It's not his size. He's got the size at 6'2", 230 pounds. It's not his athleticism. It's not his instincts. It's not his intelligence. He's got all of those things. My thing with Najee has always been how consistently aggressive can you be upon that ball touching your hand? Can you be intentional in between the tackles in the run game? Can you be intentional when you're catching that ball out of the backfield, not just hurdling guys and juking guys out the way, but doing what Josh Jacobs did also? Y'all remember what Josh Jacobs did in that college football playoff semifinal against Oklahoma? JJ lowered the shoulders and boom, knocked that Oklahoma DB to the ground. I mean, that's how Josh Jacobs was. Physical, mean, gritty, aggressive, nasty, intentional about running guys over. Yeah, he could juke you out the way. Yeah, he could spin move you if you wanted to. But Jacobs took pride. Jacobs took, confidence. Jacobs took, a lot of confidence in knocking you on the ground. He took a lot of, get up and go, a lot of oomph about just knocking you down. So to me, that's the biggest thing here, for Najee Harris is being, being consistently aggressive upon that ball hitting his hands. And as I've always stated, going back to the numbers he had last year, he got better as the season went on. I mean, of course, overall, 209 carries, over 1,200 yards rushing, 1,224, 13 touchdowns. He had 6 100-yard games, 4 of those, of course, against the SEC. When you talk Texas A&M, Tennessee, LSU, and Auburn. But it was just when the middle of the season came, that's when you saw that pure aggressiveness. And we've had a lot of people sort of speak to that where, Saban began to trust him as a guy that he's not just the hurdler. He's not just the spin mover. He's not just the juke mover. He's just not just the highlight reel. When I want Najee Harris to bear down, right? Bear down, hit that hole, drag guys, get me 2 yards for a first down. Get me 3 yards for a first down. Get me 4 yards where you're having defenders on your ankles as you're dragging them forward for a first down. Can I have a Najee Harris that can do that for me also? So that was on Coach Saban's mind. And going down the stretch of the 2019 season, he was able to do that, and that was the reason behind him getting more touches, getting more opportunities, seeing the ball more, touching the ball more, showing his skill set a lot more because he added that element of toughness, of aggressiveness to his game. So that's the big thing with Najee. I agree with what Daniel Jeremiah said. The patience is there, absolutely. The contact balance is there, no doubt. The smoothness, the fluidity in his style, it's all there. For me, can he be consistently aggressive from start to finish? Because there's a lot of goals he wants to set. There are a lot of things he wants to hit on, but there are also a lot of running backs behind him. Trey Sanders wants to touch the ball. Keelan Robinson wants to touch the ball. You've got others that want to touch the ball. So can Najee be consistently aggressive? That's the big thing right there. But folks, if you want the best in news, notes, information, if you want to access the best news, notes, and information on your Crimson Tide, you can do this by downloading the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You can get this from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you happen to have the Android phone. For your audio listening needs, we have you covered on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, Google Play, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I shall return on Wednesday, continuing the topic that is Tide football. As always, Bama fans, if you want individual copies of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, you can purchase those right now, have those sent to your door. Link will be in the description. But until next time, husbands, love your wives. Wives, appreciate, value those husbands. Children, continue doing those things legitimately now to not be bored. Get those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. Protect yourself, protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, it's been in my own words.